All right. Participate in. Participate in means to join something. Okay? So I participated in academic professional training, and I taught general English. So it means I helped. Okay, I helped. So it's a team. Okay, here you see a team. So I participated in. I participated in. Okay, so it means to join. You participate in competitions. All right, so let's say there is a competition for memorizing the Quran. You participate by joining and going to test yourself in the Quran. That's called participating. Okay, gawk at. Gawk at. Gawk at when you, all right, you're like shocked and surprised. Okay. Okay, so let's say for an example, the boy gawked at the couple as they kissed in the street. The boy gawked at the couple as they kissed in the street. So, all right. So that's something he never saw before. So, be surprised. Okay. Invite to. Invite to. Invite to. The word invite means to call someone to something. Okay. So to invite. So let's say he invited he invited him to come over his house. He invited him to come. All right, so he was invited to come over the house. He was invited to come over the house. I invited Muhammad to my birthday party. I invited Muhammad to my birthday party. I invited Suad to my wedding party. I invited Suad to my wedding party. I invited him to my graduation party. All right, so invite to. All right, invite to. All right, turn to. All right, turn to has a few different meanings, okay? But the main meaning of turn to is when you approach someone. Okay, so you see, as if you're driving your life, and then you know that you need a particular person. And so you turn to that person and seek him, okay? So, for example, if you wish to improve your English skills, language skills, as well as other academic training skills, you should turn to academic professional training. They are the best when it comes to training you to deal with your everyday skills. Okay? So you turn to, it means you seek them. You go towards them. Okay? So turn to. When you feel sad and your life is meaningless, the opposite of meaningful, meaningless, turn to Allah. Turn to God. He has the answer. And you seek God. Okay? So you go and seek God. You go look for God. Okay. Invest in. Invest means to put money in something. Put money in something. Okay? So what does the word invest in mean exactly? Okay. To invest in something means to think like a farmer. Think like a farmer. As if your money is a seed that you put in the ground, and then that seed grows into a tree. Okay? So, for example, Invest your money in a decent computer. That way, you don't have to buy a computer every month. Invest your money in a good car. That way, your car will last you a long time. Invest your money in a good phone. That way, the phone lasts. Okay? So, you invest in something. Okay? Invest your money in a bank. Okay? Invest your money in a bank, and your money will grow. Okay? Invest in. Okay, now reported yes or no questions. Now we use reported yes or no questions to tell what a speaker has asked without using the same words. You often have to change the pronouns and verb tense. Okay, so once again we are using reported speech. Okay, so we have direct and reported questions. So here for direct, let's say, are you free for lunch? Reported question would be, she asked me if I was free for lunch. She asked me if I was free for lunch. So you see how are became was. Okay, it was changed. Okay. Here, are you having a good vacation? Are you having a good vacation? He asked if I was having a good vacation. He asked if I was having a good vacation. So once again, how are became was. Okay? He asked if I was having a good vacation. Do you want to see a movie? Do you want to see a movie? He asked if I wanted to see a movie. He asked if I wanted to see a movie. Will you marry me? Will you marry me? She asked if I would marry her. She asked if I would marry her. All right, now we have one last video to watch for the day. So let's go ahead and let's watch that video to have a better understanding, and then we will take care of our exercise, okay?
Lesson 13. We've already spent quite some time talking about how we report statements. It's time now to talk about reporting questions. I'd like to make this as clear as possible for you, so I'm going to break this talk into 3 parts. In this lesson, we're going to practice reporting yes-no questions. In the next lesson, we'll practice reporting WH questions. Finally, I'll make sure you're comfortable using infinitives to report questions. But first, let's turn our attention to yes-no questions. Let's begin by looking at an example of quoted speech. Henry asks, "Is it your birthday, Lucy?" She answers, "Yes, it is my birthday." I've highlighted the subject and verb in red so that you can easily see the difference in word order. In the question, what comes first? Is, the verb. In the answer, what comes first? It, the subject. So in our question, we have question word order, verb plus subject. In the answer, we have statement word order, subject plus verb. This is important to understand because in reported speech, we need statement word order. Henry asked me if it was my birthday. It was, subject plus verb. Don't forget the other changes we talked about in previous lessons. We had changes to reference words, and our verb tense shift back. It is became it was. To report yes-no questions, we need the help of if. We place it before the question we are reporting. Henry asked me if it was my birthday. We can also use whether or not, or simply whether. Henry asked me whether it was my birthday. Henry asked me whether or not it was my birthday. There is no difference in meaning between if and whether, but there is a difference in level of formality. Whether is considered more formal, so in everyday English we use if most of the time. Let's talk for a moment about punctuation. Question marks are used only in real questions. Look at these examples. Is it your birthday? He asked me if it was my birthday. Did he really ask you if it was your birthday? In examples A and C, we use question marks to show that these are real questions. In example B, we're not asking a question, we're just reporting one, so our statement ends with a period. Correct punctuation, of course, is important in our writing, but even when we're speaking, we have to understand whether we're asking a real question or just reporting one. Examples A and C are real yes-no questions. Our voice goes up. There is rising intonation. Is it your birthday? Did he really ask you if it was your birthday? Example B is a reported question, a statement. So we have falling intonation, which means our voice goes down. He asked me if it was my birthday. Let's try an exercise. Exercise. Listen to each exchange. Report the question. Example. Listen to Jennifer ask Eric a question.
Do you like to celebrate your birthday?
Absolutely.
What did they say? Here are their words. Remember, to report the question, we'll need statement word order. We'll also need to make changes to reference words, and the verb tense will shift back. The reported statement here is not complete. We're reporting a yes-no question, so we'll mark it with if. Who's the subject? Eric. What's the verb? Like. We shift it back. Liked. Jennifer asked if Eric liked to celebrate his birthday. Eric said he did. Now you try number 1. Listen to Jennifer ask Grace a question.
Did you just celebrate your birthday?
Yes, I did. Several times. With friends.
What did they say? Here are their words. How will you report the question? Jennifer asked Grace if she had just celebrated her birthday. Grace said she had just celebrated her birthday several times with friends. Number 2. Listen to Jennifer ask Tim a question.
Do you think balloons and cake are just for kids?
No, you can use them when you're older too.
What did they say? Here are their words. How will you report the question? Jennifer asked Tim if he thought balloons and cake were just for kids. Tim said that you could use them when you were older, too. Number 3. Listen to Tim ask Jennifer a question.
Do you tell people your age?
No, I think once you're over 30, you don't tell your age.
What did they say? Here are their words. How will you report the question? Tim asked Jennifer if she told people her age. Jennifer said that she didn't because once you're over 30, you don't tell people your age. Note in Jennifer's answer, there wasn't a shift of verb tenses in the second half. Once you're over 30, you don't tell people your age. This is because it's viewed as a general truth, a general practice. So it's best expressed in the present tense. Additional practice is available at EnglishCafe.com. My username is JenniferESL. The follow-up exercise to this lesson is now
Alright, now let's go on and look at some exercises. Rewrite the questions as reported questions. Kate asked Mike, have you seen Zathura? So Kate asked Mike, if he had seen Zathura. Okay, so Kate asked Mike if he had seen Zathura. Okay. Number 2, Kim asked Don, are you going to eat that? Are you going to eat that? Here we have what? We have present continuous. In reported questions, we're going to change this here to what? Past continuous. Okay? So Kim asked Don if he was going to eat that. So Kim asked Dan if he was going to eat that. Okay? If he was going to eat that. Walt asked Kate, what movie would you suggest? Okay? Walt asked Kate, what movie would you suggest? So Walt asked Kate what movie would she suggest? Walt asked Kate what movie would she suggest? Okay, so Walt asked Kate, what movie would she suggest? Okay. Kate asked Walt, what movies do you like? What movies do you like? So here we have do, so it changed to did. Or actually no, because this is something that's continuous. It's something that's a fact. All right, so it will change, yes. So Kate asked Walt, what movies did he like? Because you can't say what movies do he like. So what movies did he like? Okay. Laura asked Jan, are there any books to read? Laura asked Jan if there were any books to read. Laura asked Jan if there were any books to read. Okay. Jessica asked Mike, have you seen my orange shoes? Jessica asked Mike if he had seen her orange shoes. Okay? So here we have it. We've taken care of reported speeches, questions, and everything. Everything is now quite simple and easy. Now let's move on to our next questionnaire. So here we have the Proust questionnaire. Okay? The young Marcel Proust was asked to fill out questionnaires at 2 social events. One when he was 13, another when he was 20. Proust did not invent this party game. He was simply the most extraordinary person to respond to them. At the birthday party of Antoinette Flex Farah, the 13-year-old Marcel was asked to answer 15 questions in the birthday book. 7 years after the first questionnaire, Charles was asked at another social event to fill out another. The questions are much the same, but the answers somewhat different. Indicative of his traits at 20, Charles believed the answers could show a lot about a person's thoughts, values, and experiences. The following is a short excerpt from a recorded text. Read, then answer the questions. Okay. So what we have here is, what do you regard as the lowest depth of misery? What do you regard as the lowest depth of misery? He said, being alone and bored at home. Where would you like to live? He said, I want to keep on traveling. What is your idea of earthly happiness? He said, I wish I had an ideal for it, but if I did, it would be to feel achieved. To what faults do you feel most indulgent? He said, depends on my mood. Who are your favorite heroes of fiction? He said, jaded Genesis. Who are your favorite characters in history? He said, Alexander the Great, Leonardo da Vinci, and Kurt Cobain. Who are your favorite heroines in real life? My mother. Who are your favorite heroines of fiction? Jaded Genesis. Your favorite painter? Francis Bacon. The quality you most admire in a man? Cynicism with a hint of impulsiveness. Cynicism with a hint of impulsiveness. The quality you most admire in a woman? Finesse and intelligence. Your favorite virtue? Love, valiance, individuality. Your favorite occupation? Creating art. Who would you have liked to be? He said, myself in 10 years. Your most marked characteristic? He said, impulsiveness. What is your present state of mind? He said, it's almost 5 a.m. I wish that things were better. What is your motto? To live and not to breathe is to die in tragedy. To live and not to breathe is to die in tragedy. Okay. Now here are our questions, okay? Who is the questionnaires' answers favorite characters in history? What is the answer's favorite virtue? What is their motto? What do you think of the answers given? What do they tell you? And what answers would you give to the questions? Okay. All right, so now let's reread one more time so we can extract the answers to these questions here. Okay, so the first question we have, who is the questionnaires' answers favorite characters in history? So favorite characters in history. Who are your favorite characters in history? Alexander the Great, Leonardo da Vinci, and Kurt Cobain. So Alexander the Great, Leonardo da Vinci, and Kurt Cobain. Those are his favorite characters in history. Okay. What is the answer's favorite virtue? Your favorite virtue, he said love, valiance, and individuality. Love, valiance, and individuality. Okay, so love, valiance, and individuality. So that's number 2. What is their motto? What is his motto? All right, so what is your motto? He said to live and to not breathe is to die in tragedy. To live and to not breathe is to die in tragedy. Okay. What do you think of the answers given? What do they tell you? So, as you analyze these here, what do you think of this person? We get that he is a very artistic person, okay? He's a very artistic person. He loves to travel, and he does not want to be bored. And he loves his mother as well as he loves fiction, and he also has a moody personality. Okay, so this is what we see about his answers. Now, for you, for your homework today, I want you to think of these questions for yourself, okay, and answer them for your own homework, okay? So, what do you regard as the lowest depth of misery? You're super sad. What is the lowest depth of misery? What is it to you? Where would you like to live? Where in the world? What's your idea of earthly happiness? What does happiness mean to you? Okay? Where could it be? Okay? To what faults do you feel most indulgent? When do you feel, what makes you feel really bad about yourself? Okay? Who are your favorite heroes of fiction? Fiction means something that's not real. Something that is not real. So, for example, for me, my favorite hero of fiction is Ash from Pokemon. Okay? So I love Pokemon. Pokemon is not real. It's fiction. Okay? So, who are your favorite heroes? Who is your favorite characters? Who are your favorite characters in history? So throughout history, who do you admire the most? Okay? Think of a few people and answer that question. Who are your favorite heroines? A heroine is a female hero. A female hero, okay? In real life. Alright? So he said my mother. I would have to agree with that. My mother is a heroine for me. She taught me so much. Who are your favorite heroines of fiction? And then you think of the fiction world. Who do you prefer? Who is your favorite painter? He said Francis Bacon. For me, I would say Picasso or Leonardo da Vinci. Okay? The quality you admire most in a man. Okay? What do you admire in a person, in a man? Okay? For me, I admire honesty. Or I admire someone who's straightforward. I admire a person with a purpose. What do I admire most in a woman? I can say I admire intelligence or direction, leadership. Okay? What's your favorite virtue? Virtue is a word that describes what do you love? What do you respect in life? So maybe knowledge or love. Okay? Individuality, someone who knows how to appreciate himself as a human being. What's your favorite occupation? Your favorite job? Your favorite job, okay? It could be a teacher, being a lawyer, being a doctor. What is your favorite job? Who would you have liked to be? Do you want to be anyone else? Do you want to be anyone else? Okay, so that's what that's supposed to mean. And so he said, myself in 10 years. I think that's a very smart answer because I would love to meet me 10 years from now. I would love to ask him a few questions if I could. Okay? Your most marked characteristic. So when someone sees you, what do they say about you in the very beginning? What do they feel about you? Okay? So some would say intelligence. Okay? Some would say creativity. Some would say leadership, knowledge. People have different characteristics. Okay? What is your present state of mind? How do you feel right now? How do you feel right now? Okay? What is your brain at? Oh, I'm tired, or I'm excited, I'm happy, okay? What is your motto? A motto is something that you stand for, something that defines your life, okay? Something that defines who you are, okay? So what is your motto, okay? And those are the questions you have to answer for your homework, okay? It's been a pleasure working with you and looking forward to see you again. This is Mr. Amir Khalifa from Academic Professional Training. Thank you and have a wonderful day.